Hi viewers, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Vanilla from Department of ECE, King's College of Engineering, Punalkulam. In this video, we are going to see about narrowband and wideband FM, which is in communication theory for BE ECE 4th semester students. Before going to narrowband and wideband FM, we will have an intro about this angle modulation. Angle modulation. So the other type of modulation in continuous wave modulation is the angle modulation. The angle modulation is the process in which the frequency or the phase of the carrier varies with respect to the message signal. So this angle modulation is classified into two types. One is frequency modulation, another one is phase modulation. So what is frequency modulation? Frequency modulation is the process of varying the frequency of the carrier signal with respect to the message signal. Similarly, phase modulation is the process of varying the phase of the carrier signal with respect to the message signal. The frequency modulation is classified into two types. One is narrowband frequency modulation, another one is wideband frequency modulation. Depending on the value of the modulation index, these two frequency modulations are classified, that is narrowband and wideband. In narrowband frequency modulation, the modulation index value is small compared to 1 radian. In wideband frequency modulation, the modulation index value is large compared to 1 radian. Next, we will see about the narrowband FM in detail. Narrowband frequency modulation is the frequency modulated wave with a small bandwidth. Small bandwidth means it is the same as that of the amplitude modulation, which is nothing but twice the baseband signal frequency. That is, bandwidth will be equal to 2 FM. The modulation index MF of narrowband frequency modulation is small compared to 1 radian. Hence, the spectrum of the narrowband FM consists of carrier, upper sideband and lower sideband. For the small values of modulation index, the values of the J coefficients are given below. So the J0 of MF will be equal to 1. J1 of MF will be equal to MF divided by 2. J2 of MF will be equal to 0 for n greater than 1. The narrowband FM wave can be expressed mathematically as E FM of t will be equal to S of t, which is equal to EC sin omega ct plus MF into EC divided by 2 sin omega c plus omega m of t minus MF into EC divided by 2 sin omega c minus omega m of t. So here in this expression, the first term is meant for carrier and the second term, which is omega c plus omega m of t, that is for upper sideband. For lower sideband, it will be omega c minus omega m of t. So the minus sign associated with the lower sideband represents a phase shift of 180 degree. So practically the narrowband FM system have the modulation index less than 1. The maximum permissible frequency deviation is restricted to about 5 kHz. So this system is used in FM mobile communication such as police wireless, ambulances, taxi cabs, etc. Next we will see about the generation of narrowband FM. So this is the block diagram for the generation of narrowband frequency modulation. So in this block diagram, we will be having the integrator block, then a balanced modulator block, a summer block, a carrier oscillator and a 90-degree phase shifter. So what is the principle of operation behind this? So in this, the modulator involves splitting the carrier wave into two parts. One path is direct, the other path contains a 90-degree phase shifter and a product modulator. The product modulator is otherwise called as the balanced modulator. The combination of which generates a DSB-SC modulated signal. DSB-SC is nothing but double sideband suppressed carrier modulated signal. So the difference between these two signals produces a narrowband FM signal, but with some distortions. So ideally, an FM signal has a constant envelope, and for the case of a sinusoidal modulating signal of frequency FM, the angle phi I of t also sinusoidal with the same frequency. Now we will see the spectrum of this narrowband FM. See the spectrum. In this, we will be having the carrier lower sideband frequency as well as the upper sideband frequency. So, hence we can conclude the spectrum of narrowband FM consists of the carrier, upper sideband as well as the lower sideband. So next we will move on to wideband frequency modulation. For large values of modulation index, the FM wave ideally contains the carrier and an infinite number of sidebands located symmetrically around the carrier. Such a FM wave has infinite bandwidth and hence called as wideband FM. So here the modulation index of wideband FM is higher than 1. So the maximum permissible deviation is 75 kHz and it is used in the entertainment broadcasting application such as FM radio, TV, etc. So the expression for the wideband FM is complex since it is sine of sine function. So the only way to solve this equation is by using the Bessel function. By using this Bessel function, the equation for the wideband FM can be expanded as EFM of t is equal to S of t, which is equal to EC J0 into MF sin omega CT plus J1 into MF sin omega C plus omega M of t minus sin omega C minus omega M of t. So see here, in all the Bessel function term, the first term will be for carrier and the second, third remaining terms will have both upper sideband as well as the lower sideband. Similarly, we can expand the expression using this Bessel function. So looking at this equation, we can conclude these points. So the FM wave consists of carrier, as I have told earlier. The equation in this equation, the first term is meant for carrier, right? So the FM wave ideally consists of infinite number of sidebands. All the terms except the first one are sidebands. The amplitude of the carrier and sideband is dependent on the J coefficients. As the values of J coefficients are dependent on the modulation index, the modulation index determines how many sideband components have significant amplitudes. Some of the J coefficients can be negative, therefore there is a 180-degree phase shift for that particular pair of sidebands. The carrier component does not remain constant as J0 into MF is varying, the amplitude of the carrier will also vary. However, the amplitude of the FM wave will remain constant. For certain values of modulation index, the carrier component will disappear completely. These values are called eigenvalues. In frequency modulation, the total transmitted power always remains constant. It is not depending on the modulation index. So the reason for this is that the amplitude of the FM signal EC is always constant, and the power transmitted is given by the expression PT, total power, will be equal to EC divided by root 2 the whole square divided by R, which is equal to EC square divided by 2R, where EC is the peak amplitude of FM wave. Therefore, the total power PT can be written as PT is equal to EC square divided by 2R if R is equal to 1 ohms. So next we will move on to the advantages of frequency modulation. So what are the advantages? In FM receivers, the noise can be reduced by increasing the frequency deviation, and hence FM reception is immune to noise as compared to AM reception. Second point, the FM transmitters are highly efficient than AM transmitters. As in AM transmission, most of the power goes waste in the transmitted carrier. Third point, FM transmission can be used for the stereo sound transmission due to large number of sidebands. And there are some disadvantages in frequency modulation. They are: the bandwidth in FM transmission is 10 times as large as that needed in AM transmission. Hence, wider frequency channel is required in FM transmission. The second one is the area of reception for FM transmission is much smaller than that of AM transmission. And the last one is the transmitting and receiving equipments are very complex in FM. So these are some of the disadvantages in frequency modulation. Then what are the applications of frequency modulation? So this frequency modulation is widely used for FM radio broadcasting. It is also used in telemetry, radar, seismic prospecting and monitoring newborns. It is used in two-way radio systems, sound synthesis, magnetic tape recording systems, and some video transmission systems. It is also used in point-to-point communication, and it is also used in satellite communication. So these are some of the applications of frequency modulation. Now we will see the difference between the narrowband FM and wideband FM. The first point, the main point here is the modulation index. So in narrowband FM, the modulation index value is less than 1. In wideband, it is greater than 1. The second point, the frequency deviation is 5 kHz in narrowband FM. In wideband, it is 75 kHz. The third point, the bandwidth required is same as required for an AM signal. So here the bandwidth will be equal to 2 FM. But in wideband, it requires 5 times the bandwidth required for an AM signal. And the next point is narrowband FM is less suppression of noise, and wideband FM is more noise suppressed. So these are some of the differences between narrowband FM and wideband FM. So far what we have discussed is narrowband FM and wideband FM differences, and we have seen about the narrowband FM, wideband FM, applications of frequency modulation, and there are some advantages as well as disadvantages. Thank you all. Thank you for watching this video.